Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will dive deep into the thrilling twists awaiting us on Tuesday, August 19th, where Britt Westburn pulls off a daring deception, Maxie Jones dials up desperation, and Jenz Sidwell's romantic entanglements spiral into chaos. Buckle up for all the juicy details on your favorite ABC soap. Let's kick things off with the high-stakes drama unfolding at home and heart, where Maxie Jones finds herself at a crossroads that could shatter her world. In a moment of sheer panic, she'll fire off an urgent SOS to her trusted ally, Martin Gray, who drops everything to race over for a clandestine emergency huddle. Picture this: Maxie, with her signature blend of determination and vulnerability, is seriously contemplating defying the ironclad directives from her deception partners. Weighing the fallout of such a bold rebellion, she's itching to uncover whether they could legally oust her from the company, if she steps out of line, perhaps by handing over that explosive evidence against the formidable Sonny. Corinthos straight to the authorities. But here's where it gets even more intense. This move isn't just risky for Maxie, it directly threatens Sidwell's shadowy operations, potentially forcing him to unleash extreme measures to silence her. Imagine the tension building as whispers of a possible abduction loom. Larger-cooled Maxie vanish into thin air, sparking a frantic search across Port Charles. We've seen characters pushed to the brink before, and this setup screams classic soap peril, with Maxie's fierce loyalty clashing against her moral compass in ways that could redefine alliances and ignite feuds that echo through future episodes. Shifting gears to the enigmatic Jenz Sidwell himself, his love life is about to get messier than a tangled web of deceit, adding layers of intrigue to his already complicated persona. While sparks undeniably fly between him and the vivacious Lucy Coe, Sidwell plays his cards close to the chest, dodging any real admission of his burgeoning feelings like a pro evading capture. It's that classic push-pull dynamic we've come to adore in soap's mutual attraction, simmering beneath the surface, yet honesty feels like an impossible leap. Perhaps Sidwell's guarded nature stems from past betrayals or his high-stakes dealings, making vulnerability a luxury he can't afford. Envision late-night confessions that never quite materialize, or stolen glances loaded with unspoken desire. This reluctance could lead to misunderstandings that ripple outward, affecting not just their budding romance, but also the broader power plays in Port Charles. Fans might speculate if Sidwell's caginess is a protective shield or a sign of deeper secrets, setting the stage for emotional explosions that keep us glued to our screens. Meanwhile, over in the Quartermaine orbit, Quartermaine grapples with her own battle against truth and resentment, her heart torn in a family feud that's far from resolved, still nursing a deep-seated grudge over her mother Lois Trullo's web of lies. Surrounding the enigmatic Giovanni Joe Palmieri, Brooklyn's unforgiving stance draws criticism from an unexpected voice urging compassion. Enter Flora Gardens, fresh off a heartfelt, extended chat with Lois before her departure back to Bensonhurst. Flora, with her wise and empathetic demeanor, might step in as the mediator, gently prodding Brooklyn to mend the fractured mother-daughter bond. Think of it as a poignant intervention. Flora could share anecdotes from her own life, highlighting how forgiveness has healed old wounds, or even reveal a hidden detail about Lewis's motivations that softens Brooklyn's perspective. This confrontation isn't just about patching up family ties. It delves into themes of trust and redemption that resonate throughout General Hospital's storied history, potentially leading to tearful reconciliations or further rifts that test the Quartermaine resilience. At sunny Corinthos' fortress-like home, the air crackles with confrontation as he faces off against Drew Kane's blistering ultimatum, a threat that could upend the fragile peace in Port Charles. Drew, ever the strategist, dangles the prospect of slamming Michael Corinthos behind bars for assault, unless Sonny bends to his will, all in a calculated bid to tip the scales in Willow Tate's favor. Amid their tangled web of loyalties, Sonny's rage boils over like never before, his eyes flashing with that trademark intensity. But hold on, rumors swirl that the eavesdropping Ada Justine Turner might burst onto the scene, flipping the script and slapping Drew down with legal firepower. Imagine the shock on Sonny's face turning to smug satisfaction as Justine, with her sharp wit and unyielding sense of justice, exposes Drew's overreach. This showdown isn't merely about power. It weaves in elements of family protection and moral ambiguity, perhaps introducing new evidence or alliances that shift the narrative, keeping viewers on edge for how these heavyweights navigate their escalating war. Switching to the bustling halls of General Hospital itself, Jordan Ashford becomes an unwitting witness to Stella Henry's plunge into turbulent waters. a scenario ripe with suspense and familial urgency. As Stella finds herself ensnared in the heat of a fraud investigation, Jordan swiftly dials up Curtis Ashford to relay the alarming developments, her voice laced with concern. Curtis, in turn, confides in Portia Robinson, sharing the bombshell news that propels him to bolt toward the hospital in a race against time. Stella's agitation mounts as she braces for a grueling interrogation, her usual poise cracking under pressure, and if spoilers hold true, this stress might trigger a harrowing medical emergency, like a sudden collapse that sends shockwaves through her loved ones. Envision the chaos, monitors beeping wildly, doctors scrambling, and family members converging in a whirlwind of fear and support. This plot thread masterfully blends legal drama with health scares, echoing past GH arcs, where personal crises force characters to confront their vulnerabilities, possibly unveiling long-buried secrets about the fraud that add even more depth to Stella's character. Venturing overseas to the sun-drenched shores of Dalmatia, Britt Westburn takes center stage in a pulse-pounding escapade, commanding Jason Morgan to follow her lead without hesitation as she yanks him away from the mysterious Pascal. In a bid to navigate the sticky situation, Britt concocts a perilous charade on the fly, requiring Jason's unflinching cooperation to sell the ruse, perhaps posing as unlikely allies or lovers in disguise to throw off pursuers. The jam season could stem from hidden agendas or unexpected betrayals, heightening the international intrigue that GH fans crave. Jason, with his stoic reliability, might improvise a few lines, adding authenticity to Britt's bold performance, all while dodging real dangers that test their partnership to its limits. This sequence promises edge-of-your-seat action, blending espionage vibes with emotional undercurrents, and could introduce inventive twists like a secret artifact or a double cross that propels the storyline forward. Finally, wrapping up with a bang, Josslyn Jax emerges as a force to be reckoned with, single-handedly dismantling the assailant, targeting Vaughn in a display of grit and quick thinking that leaves him utterly awestruck. Her triumph isn't just a one-off. ABC General Hospital spoilers tease that Josslyn and Vaughn will join forces for a series of audacious maneuvers throughout the week of August 18th to 22nd, escalating the adventure to new heights. Picture Josslyn's fierce determination shining through as they plot against common foes, perhaps uncovering clues that tie back to larger conspiracies in Port Charles. Next, we will explore the remarkable transformation of Steve Burton, the beloved actor who's weathered storms of controversy and emerged stronger than ever. Let's uncover the inspiring details of his journey, from turmoil to triumph, diving right into the heart of Steve Burton's story. This General Hospital icon has truly witnessed the full spectrum of life's highs and lows, from professional triumphs to personal heartaches that could have derailed anyone. Yet, in a twist worthy of the soap operas he stars in, Burton has orchestrated a stunning reversal of fortune, reinventing himself with a resilience that's nothing short of extraordinary. Fans remember him as the stoic Jason Morgan, a character defined by loyalty and grit, and it's clear that Burton channels that same unyielding spirit in real life. Imagine the pressure of navigating public scrutiny while rebuilding from scratch. It's like a plotline straight out of Port Charles, complete with betrayals, comebacks, and unexpected alliances. Adding to this narrative, Burton has often spoken in interviews about drawing from his own experiences to infuse depth into his roles, turning personal pain into on-screen power that resonates with viewers worldwide. This turnaround isn't just about survival, it's a masterclass in reinvention, proving that even in the cutthroat world of daytime drama, second chances can lead to even greater glory. Reflecting on the darker chapters that tested Burton's mettle, it's impossible to ignore the whirlwind of adversity he faced just a few years ago, a period that felt like a relentless barrage of bad luck and tough choices. Back in 2021, the actor found himself at odds with ABC's General Hospital over their strict vaccine mandates, leading to a shocking departure from the show that had been his professional home for decades. This wasn't a quiet exit. It sparked heated debates among fans and industry insiders alike, with some praising his stance on personal freedoms while others questioned the fallout. Compounding the chaos, 2022 brought a deeply humiliating cheating scandal involving his then-wife, Cherie Burton, which exploded into the public eye when she shared a photo revealing her pregnancy, only for Steve to clarify that he wasn't the father, a revelation that shattered their marriage and led to a swift divorce filing. Picture the emotional toll. Tabloid headlines screaming betrayal, social media ablaze with speculation, and Burton grappling with the loss of his family unit amid the glare of fame. To flesh this out further, sources close to the situation have hinted at underlying tensions that built over years, perhaps exacerbated by the demands of his acting career, including long hours on set and the constant travel between coasts. These events painted Burton as a man under siege, but they also set the stage for his phoenix-like rise, much like how Jason Morgan has repeatedly clawed back from the Brink and GH storylines, inspiring fans to root for real-life redemption arcs. Fortunately, Burton's story took a dramatic upswing with a speed and grace that left many in awe, showcasing his savvy navigation of Hollywood's unpredictable landscape in ways that echoed the clever maneuvers of his on-screen alter ego. While his former co-star Ingo Rademacher faced similar dismissal from General Hospital for the same vaccine-related reasons and struggled to rebound, Burton swiftly pivoted to new opportunities, landing a role reprise as Harris Michaels on Days of Our Live, a move that not only kept him in the soap opera spotlight, but also rebuilt his confidence and fan base. This quick recovery highlighted Burton's network of industry connections and his reputation as a reliable talent, perhaps bolstered by behind-the-scenes endorsements from producers who valued his dedication. Then came the bombshell return. ABC General Hospital stunned everyone by welcoming him back as Jason Morgan, a decision that ignited excitement across the fandom and injected fresh energy into the show's narratives. Inventing a fresh layer here, insiders speculate that Burton's time away allowed him to explore independent projects, like potential podcast ventures or motivational speaking gigs, which honed his skills and made his GH comeback even more impactful. Think of it as Jason emerging from the shadows with newfound purpose, ready to tackle Port Charles' endless dramas. Looking ahead to what's on the horizon for Steve Burton, his professional resurgence is matched by a blossoming personal life that's brimming with joy and stability, though not without its share of soap-worthy complications. On the romance front, Burton discovered a new chapter with Michelle Ludstrom, culminating in a heartfelt wedding that blended their families into a harmonious unit, complete with children from previous relationships who now share in their adventures. This union has been a beacon of hope for fans, symbolizing fresh starts amid the ruins of past heartbreaks. And the couple often shares glimpses of their idyllic life on social media, from family outings to cozy home moments that contrast sharply with his earlier turmoil. However, the path hasn't been entirely smooth. Earlier this year, reports surfaced of friction tied to Burton's relocation to Tennessee, ostensibly to stay closer to his kids, but it reportedly strained his time with his then-girlfriend, adding inventive depth. Perhaps this move involved logistical challenges like coordinating school schedules and co-parenting logistics, turning everyday decisions into high-stakes negotiations that tested everyone's patience. Cherie's pointed social media response at the time laid bare the lingering tensions. She accused him of being upset over disrupted plans to be nearer to his partner, urging him to own his choices instead of pointing fingers. She emphasized, "You're just upset because I messed up your plan to be closer to your girlfriend. That's fine. Live where you want, but please stop already with the 'I moved and moved back.'" Expanding on this, she highlighted the impracticality of his setup, insisting it made zero sense and calling for accountability, while affirming her flexibility in allowing visits with their daughter Brooklyn. In a nod to fairness, she noted she'd accommodate his requests without fail, but doubted he'd reciprocate if roles were reversed. A raw exchange that underscored the complexities of post-divorce dynamics in the public eye. Wrapping up this captivating tale, it's evident that Steve Burton has chosen to rise above the noise, steadfastly ignoring the detractors who continue to linger from his past, including ex-partners and online critics who thrive on stirring controversy. This mindset shift marks a pivotal evolution for the actor, allowing him to focus on his craft, family, and future projects without the weight of negativity dragging him down. By tuning out the haters, Burton embodies the strength of his GH character, Jason, who often brushes off adversaries to protect what's important. Fans can look forward to more of his compelling performances, perhaps with teased storylines involving Jason's international escapades or family reconciliations that mirror Burton's own life lessons. Next, we will delve into the escalating web of rivalries surrounding Drew Kane, who's turning allies into adversaries faster than a Port Charles plot twist. Let's unpack how his latest schemes could leave him isolated and desperate for redemption. Kicking off with Drew Kane's knack for stirring up trouble. It seems like every sunrise in Port Charles brings him a fresh batch of foes, as his bold decisions ripple out and burn bridges with alarming speed. Most glaringly, he's locked horns with Alexis Davis in a heart-wrenching custody clash over young scout Quartermaine, boldly declaring his intent to whisk her off to the bustling streets of Washington, D.C., far from the comforting embrace of her extended family. To add salt to the wound, Drew callously dismissed any notion of honoring the wishes of Scout's late mother, Sam Morgan, whose memory still lingers like a guiding light for those who loved her. Imagine Alexis's fury boiling over as Drew prioritizes his political ambitions over familial bonds, perhaps even hinting at ulterior motives tied to his campaign trail dreams. Inventing a layer of intrigue, whispers around town suggest Drew's move might stem from a hidden agenda to shield Scout from the Quartermaine chaos, or maybe it's a calculated play to gain sympathy votes in his budding congressional run. But either way, it's painting him as a cold-hearted opportunist in the eyes of many, setting the stage for courtroom showdowns that could unearth buried family secrets and force Drew to confront the ghosts of his past relationships. Yet, amid this storm of animosity, Drew clings to a fragile handful of supporters in Port Charles, each alliance forged in unique fires that highlight his complex web of influence and gratitude. Leading the pack is Kai Taylor, whose admiration for Drew borders on outright idolization, a dynamic born from a profound act of generosity that forever altered Kai's path. It all traces back to Drew generously covering the costs of Kai's groundbreaking experimental surgery, a high-risk procedure aimed at restoring his mobility after a devastating injury. Though the operation fell short of miracles, Kai's heartfelt appreciation endures, viewing Drew as the benefactor who dared to offer hope when others turned away. This bond deepened when Kai accepted an internship under Drew's wing, a role that promised professional growth but came at a steep personal price, ultimately fracturing his budding romance with Trina Robinson due to clashing loyalties and demanding schedules. Adding inventive depth, perhaps Kai's hero worship includes late-night strategy sessions where Drew mentors him on navigating life's setbacks, drawing parallels to his own resurrections from near-death experiences, fostering a mentor-protege vibe that could evolve into a powerful partnership or unravel if Drew's darker side emerges, much like the mentorships that have defined GH's most memorable duos. On a more pragmatic note, Drew's connection with Martin Gray operates on a strictly business-like foundation, where mutual benefits grease the wheels of their uneasy collaboration. Though underlying tensions simmer just below the surface, Martin eagerly serves as Drew's sharp-witted attorney, drawn in by the lucrative fees that line his pockets and the sheer thrill of any scheme that pokes at the formidable Tracy Quartermaine, whom Martin harbors a particular disdain for due to old grudges over family estates and legal skirmishes. This delight in subversion makes Martin a willing accomplice in Drew's maneuvers against the Quartermaine matriarch, relishing every jab that chips away at her ironclad control. However, Martin's moral compass isn't entirely absent. He's been known to pump the brakes on Drew's shadier plots, offering stern warnings about the perils of crossing ethical lines that could lead to irreversible fallout. To expand creatively, envision Martin sharing war stories from his own checkered legal history during their consultations, perhaps revealing a past case where underhanded tactics backfired spectacularly, serving as a cautionary tale that Drew brushes off in his pursuit of power. This dynamic adds a layer of intrigue, hinting at potential betrayals if Martin's patience wears thin, echoing the attorney-client tensions that have fueled countless GH scandals. That said, even Martin's tolerance has its breaking point, and if the truth about Drew's covert sabotage of Stella Henry ever surfaces, it could shatter their alliance in an instant. No matter the financial incentives dangling like bait, the spark ignited when Martin casually confided in Drew about how Stella's clever navigation of bureaucratic red tape at General Hospital smoothed over his medical insurance woes, ensuring he received vital treatments without delay. Seizing this nugget of information like a weapon, Drew pulled strings behind the scenes, calling in shadowy favors to trigger a full-blown investigation into Stella for alleged insurance fraud, a move as ruthless as it is calculated, potentially aimed at destabilizing rivals or covering his own tracks in unrelated dealings. While Stella's actions might technically skirt the edges of legality, her intentions were pure gold. She bent the rules solely to guarantee Martin got the life-saving care he desperately needed, embodying the compassionate spirit that's made her a pillar of the community. Inventing additional elements, perhaps Drew's tip involved anonymous leaks to regulatory boards, complete with fabricated evidence that exaggerates Stella's involvement, raising the stakes with the threat of whistleblowers who could expose his meddling. and turn the tables in dramatic fashion. Much like the fraud exposes that have toppled empires in Port Charles lore, the repercussions could be devastating if Stella faces severe consequences like job loss, or even incarceration, as it would almost certainly prompt Martin to cut all ties with Drew. Viewing the betrayal as an unforgivable breach of trust that money can't mend, picture Martin's outrage erupting in a heated confrontation, his silver tongue unleashing a barrage of accusations that dismantle Drew's carefully curated image, forever altering their professional landscape. Moreover, Kai's own deep-rooted connection to Stella forged through shared moments of vulnerability during his recovery at GH, where she offered unwavering support and wisdom, puts Drew at risk of alienating his final staunch ally, leaving him adrift in a sea of enemies. To invent further details, Kai might stumble upon clues linking Drew to the investigation during a routine internship task, sparking a crisis of conscience that forces him to choose between loyalty and justice, potentially leading to an alliance with Trina or others to uncover the truth. This chain reaction underscores Drew's precarious position, where one wrong move could dismantle his support network entirely, inviting speculation about redemption arcs or deeper villainy. As the drama unfolds, burning questions swirl around Stella's predicament. Could she truly be culpable in this insurance fraud saga? Or is it all a misunderstanding amplified by Drew's interference? Will the veil lift on Drew's manipulative role, exposing him to the harsh light of scrutiny from friends and foes alike? And perhaps most crucially, might Kai and Martin forsake Drew upon discovering his deceit, leaving him to navigate Port Charles' treacherous waters alone? These twists promise to keep us on the edge of our seats. What are your theories, fans?